Imagine, just for a moment, that you could preserve meat for 5 years. Yes, 5 years. Without a freezer, without even a hint of electricity. Sounds impossible? For the Amish, it's a regular practice, and it's kept their families well-stocked for generations. Here at Preppers Community, we're about to reveal these Amish secrets that go way beyond anything modern technology can offer. You can't always rely on the grid being up, on stores being open. Modern conveniences can fail us when we least expect it. Sometimes you gotta rely on yourself, on skills passed down for generations. These skills are more than just knowledge. They're lifelines. Preserving food, especially meat, that's essential knowledge. It's about making sure you have sustenance when fresh supplies aren't available. The Amish, they understand this. They've been doing it for centuries. No fancy freezers needed. Their methods are tried and true, honed over generations. And believe me, their methods, they work. The proof is in the perfectly preserved meat, ready to nourish when needed. Why's this matter to you? Simple. Disasters happen. Power goes out. Economic turmoil hits. In those moments, having preserved food can be a lifesaver. Knowing how to keep food safe and edible for months, even years, that's powerful. That's peace of mind. It's the assurance that you and your loved ones won't go hungry. Learning from those who've mastered self-sufficiency, like the Amish, that's what this is about. It's about adopting time-tested techniques that ensure survival. We're talking long-term food security, the kind that keeps you fed no matter what the world throws your way. It's about being prepared, being resilient, and being self-reliant. So take the time to learn these skills, to preserve your food, and to ensure that no matter what happens, you and your family can thrive. If you're ready to discover how the Amish do it, and you want to master these survival skills, give this video a like and subscribe. This is the kind of knowledge everyone who's serious about being prepared needs to know. Let's dive straight into these secrets. We're so used to the convenience of electricity, we forget it can fail. Freezers are great, until they're not. Then what? Spoiled food, wasted resources? The Amish, they've chosen a different path, one less reliant on the grid. Their methods? Centuries old. Dry curing, smoking, canning. Techniques our ancestors used. Techniques that work, they don't need power. They rely on natural processes, on understanding how to preserve food at its core. This isn't just about being off-grid, though. It's about resilience. It's about taking control of your food supply. Because when you can preserve your own meat, you're one step closer to true self-sufficiency. Imagine the assurance of knowing that no matter what happens, you can keep your family fed. Learning these methods doesn't just give you food security, it changes how you value your resources. Efficient, eco-friendly, and resilient. What's not to love? Dry curing might sound complex, but it's all about one thing: getting rid of moisture. Without moisture, bacteria can't survive, and meat stays fresh for ages. The Amish have this down to a science, using a blend of salt and sugar with a hint of spices for flavor. Here's how it works. First, you need the right meat. Lean cuts like beef or pork shoulder are ideal because fat can go rancid. Then, you don't just sprinkle on some salt. You create a complete salt barrier around the meat, covering every inch and creating an environment bacteria can't breach. It's like a no trespassing zone for spoilage. Then the meat is hung in a cool, dry place, like a cellar, for weeks or even months. During this time, the salt does its job, transforming the texture and deepening the flavor. You end up with a dry, cured meat that's complex, delicious, and durable. This isn't just preservation, it's gourmet survival food. Smoking isn't just about taste, it's a powerful preservation tool. The Amish know that smoke doesn't just flavor meat, it protects it, creating a barrier against bacteria while infusing it with rich, deep flavors. After curing, the meat is hung in a smokehouse for days, sometimes even longer, at just the right temperature. It's warm enough to keep bacteria from growing, but cool enough to avoid cooking the meat. You want low, slow heat, not a raging fire. Choosing the right wood is critical. Hardwoods like oak, hickory, and maple produce thick smoke filled with natural compounds that help keep bacteria at bay. As the smoke slowly seeps in, it coats the meat with a protective layer and leaves it with a beautiful reddish or golden color. Think of it as adding a layer of flavor armor. And the best part? This smoked meat can last for months, sometimes even years, without refrigeration. Section 5. Long-term canning. How the Amish create years of food security. Long-term canning isn't for the impatient, but it's worth every second. While modern canning often calls for gadgets, the Amish keep it simple: heat, glass jars, and the good old vacuum seal. Think of each jar as a mini food fortress. The process starts with prepping the meat, cutting it into cubes, and putting it in sterilized jars. No added liquids or preservatives, just natural juices. This initial cooking step is crucial, as it ensures that the meat is safe and ready for the canning process. Then it goes into sterilized jars, leaving a bit of space at the top. This headspace is important as it allows for the expansion of the contents during the heating process. After a few hours in a water bath, those jars cool down and seal in freshness. The pressure canner is an essential tool in this method, ensuring that the food is safe for long-term storage. Once processed, you let the jars cool. This cooling period is vital as it allows the vacuum seal to form, ensuring that the jars are airtight and the contents are preserved. You'll hear that satisfying pop as they seal, creating a vacuum inside. This sound is a reassuring confirmation that the canning process has been successful. Open 1 year later, and it's as if you canned it yesterday. It's like a time capsule for meat, one that's always ready for dinner. This method not only provides convenience but also peace of mind, knowing that you have a reliable food source at your fingertips. Section 6: Hygiene, the foundation for safe, long-lasting preservation. When it comes to preserving meat, cleanliness is the name of the game. The Amish know that one slip-up can spoil a whole batch. They treat their kitchen like a clean room. Every tool, jar, and surface is sanitized. Think of it like prepping for surgery, but the patient is dinner. Keeping everything clean from hands to utensils is essential for keeping bacteria out. This isn't the time for shortcuts. Every step from prepping the meat to storing it requires full attention. And that commitment to cleanliness? That's what makes these preservation methods so foolproof. So scrub up, because hygiene is your secret weapon here. The Amish, they understand this instinctively. Their kitchens are spotless, their methods precise. Section 7: The art of rotation, an often overlooked yet crucial part of your preservation journey. After putting in all the effort to cure, smoke, or can your meat, where and how you store it is just as important to make sure it lasts. Each preservation method requires a specific storage environment to maximize shelf life, so let's go over the details. For cured and smoked meats, a cool, dry, and dark space is essential. Think of a cellar, pantry, or storage closet. These meats are sensitive to humidity. Even a bit of moisture can spoil your hard work faster than you can, say, mold. If you have a cellar or basement with good ventilation, that's ideal. But if not, any dark, temperature-controlled area will help keep the meat safe. Avoid warm, damp places, like near a kitchen stove or in areas exposed to sunlight, as these can shorten the lifespan of cured and smoked meats. Canned meats are a little more forgiving, but still benefit from careful storage. Each jar should be labeled with the date and type of meat, so you can manage your stock efficiently. Regularly rotating your supply ensures you're always consuming the freshest batches first. Most canned meats will stay safe at room temperature, but storing them in a cool, dark place can further extend their shelf life, preserving quality and flavor for years. For the best organization, create a rotation schedule. Think of it as pantry management 101, no app required. And don't forget, extreme temperatures are the enemy of any preserved food. Avoid storing these items in garages, sheds, or attics where temperatures can swing drastically. The goal is consistency. A stable, cool environment is key to preserving your meat's quality. By following these steps, you'll have a stockpile that's ready whenever you need it, as fresh as the day you preserved it. These preservation methods aren't just about storing food. They represent a whole philosophy of independence and self-reliance. The Amish teach us how to live without the need for modern conveniences, relying instead on skills and traditions that provide a deeper, lasting sense of freedom. In a world where we often depend on technology and external systems, there's something profoundly satisfying about stepping back, learning these age-old techniques, and knowing you can rely on your own skills. Embracing these methods connects us to a lifestyle centered on resilience and resourcefulness. It's about more than having food on hand. It's about achieving peace of mind, knowing that you're prepared no matter what the future holds. When you learn these skills, you're not just preserving food, you're preserving a way of life that values sustainability and respect for the natural world. Each preserved jar, each cured piece of meat becomes a symbol of independence and a reminder of what it means to be self-sufficient. The beauty of this philosophy lies in its simplicity. Instead of rushing to buy every modern gadget, you're learning how to work with nature, using basic, proven techniques that people have relied on for generations. This approach encourages a mindful use of resources, creating a lifestyle where every action has purpose and every skill builds confidence. In many ways, the act of preserving food is about connecting with our roots, honoring the skills of those who came before us, and preparing ourselves to face whatever challenges may come. The values of resilience, resourcefulness, and respect for nature are timeless, and they're essential for anyone serious about preparedness. By learning these skills, you're taking a step toward true independence, equipping yourself with the knowledge and confidence to provide for yourself and your loved ones in any situation. Now that you know these preservation techniques, picture how they could strengthen your own self-sufficiency. Imagine a stockpile that doesn't depend on electricity, one that remains steady and reliable even when the grid goes down. That's the true power of these Amish secrets, knowledge that ensures you'll always have the essentials, no matter the circumstances. These aren't just survival tactics. They're skills that reconnect you with a simpler, more resilient way of living. Imagine the peace of mind that comes from knowing you've taken control, that you're not just prepared for emergencies, but embracing a lifestyle of independence and self-reliance. If you're inspired to dig deeper into these timeless skills, hit subscribe and join us here at Preppers Community. Together, we're building a community of strength, resilience, and true preparedness. With just a bit of know-how, you can be ready for whatever life throws at you, and a whole lot more empowered. Thanks for joining us, and let's keep building that independence, one skill at a time.